while since I've done this again, but, you know, stuff happens. So, when last we left off, we had gotten these guys to level 10. We took on our rival. Unfortunately, I was not able to solve the audio problem with the game. I guess it just doesn't want me to capture that audio, but you know what? That's fine. I did seem to solve the problem with it not recording the audio for any people I had on as a guest. I forgot whether I had grabbed that or not. So if anybody does happen to join us, I will let them know what's going on, and hopefully you will be able to hear them hearing that I'm letting them know what's going on. Let's see. So we have Steven the Beedrill, who unfortunately is useless with the move Harden only. We have Jerry, the Rattata, with Quick Attack, Tackle, and Tail Whip. Alex the Pidgey, with Gust and Sand Attack. And we have Jan the Charmander, with Ember, Scratch, and Growl. So, due to where I have caught them, we're basically gonna skip straight ahead to Pewter City. We will probably be taking on the trainers if I haven't fought them already. I can't remember whether I have or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but I guess we'll find out. Right now we're in Viridian Forest for those of who are on audio only. I'm currently looking around to see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. And we now have a battle with a Kakuna, which is actually really good because this gives me a chance to swap train Steven. So Steven, we're going to swap into... you know what, let's swap into Jan, because Jan has a fire move, and that will make this super fast, because we are twice his level. So I use Ember on it after it uses Harden, and it dies in one hit as expected. So moving along, we'll talk to this guy. Ran out of Pokeballs, sucks to be him. If he was in a Nuzlock, that'd be really bad. Let's talk to this trainer over here. Hey, you have Pokemon, come on, let's battle him. And battle begins. Cool. So, I have Steven out front still. We are now fighting a level 6 Weedle, which, funny enough, the Weedle has an advantage because it has an attacking move. So, we're going to swap into Yawn. The Weedle will use Poison Sting. Luckily, we did not get poisoned, so I'm going to use Ember on it. And it's going to go down in one hit, as expected. Gaining experience everywhere. Yawn's now level 11, which is always good. Up next, we have Caterpie. I seem to have forgotten to swap it to set mode, so I'm going to have to change that back. So I said no, that way it's still technically set mode. And then I'll swap into Steven. Steven's going to take a tackle from the Caterpie. And then I'm going to swap back into Yawn, who is going to take a tackle. It does almost nothing. So Yawn's going to use Ember on the Caterpie, and the Caterpie goes down in one hit, as expected. Experience all around, and that was it for the bug catcher. Before I forget, yay, we got 60 Poké-Dollars. Before I forget, we're going to go into the options, and we're going to set battle style to set. And then, hopefully that did it. I'm going to save here. It's always good to save frequently. Always save frequently. Very, very important. Oh, hey, look, another trainer. Yo, you can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but we're going to be fighting Bugcatcher, who sends out a Weedle. This Weedle happens to be level 7, so a little stronger than the last one. Leading with Steven, we're going to swap into Yawn. As I'm sure you guys predicted by this point. We take a poison sting from the Weedle. Luckily, once again, we did not get poisoned. I forget what exactly the poison chances it has, but with Yon using an Ember, we managed to take out the Weedle. It looks like I did set it to set correctly this time, so now I don't have to worry about the message popping up. They send out a Kakuna, and I swap into Steven once again, and then I'm going to swap back into Yon as the Kakuna uses Harden. The Kakuna uses a Harden again. Unfortunately for it, Ember is a special attack, so that means that the Hardens are useless and it dies in one hit. Experience to go around, the opponent sends out a Weedle. Luckily, I have my trusty Steven to swap into, mostly for switch training because I needed to get to its first attacking move so it can at least do something. I'm going to swap back into Yon as the Weedle uses a string attack, or string shot, and then another string shot on Yon this time, and Ember from Yon the Charmander to take down this Weedle. And with that, I believe we've defeated the bug catcher. Hooray! Huh? I ran out of Pokemon! Yes, you did, and you gave me 70 Pokédollars, which is great. That's definitely going to help us later. I pick up an antidote, and for those of who are wondering, the reason I'm announcing what's going on as we walk around Viridian Forest trying to find things, is because whenever I'm doing things, I like listening to audio in the background, so I figure as we get into this fight with a Weedle here, I figured other people might want to listen to stuff like this in the background, and it'd be nice if they knew what was going on. So I send out Steven against this level 4 Weedle, but I'm going to swap into Yon, because switch training is a thing. Yon takes a string shot, although even with that, I believe it will still be faster with an Ember, and it is, which takes out the Weedle, as predicted, and that would leave us with, 14 experience to the both of them. Hooray. While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and check and see how much experience he needs. 43 experience. Alright, cool. So that's actually not too much left. Once again, I'm going to save here because saving frequently is important. This goes for just about any game that you play. And we immediately run into another Pokemon. It's a Weedle this time. This Weedle is also level 4. Hooray. Steven's out front, so we can swap train it using Yon. Yon for now. If Yon becomes poisoned or gets too low on health, I'll more than likely not use him anymore for switch training. However, for now, I'm going to use an Ember on the Weedle for maximum damage. And once again, the Weedle dies, 14, which would bring us to 29 experience required in order for Yon to gain another level. Or not Yon, Steven. Steven gains the level off that. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this potion down here in this corner off to the side, and we should be coming up on the last fight in Viridian Forest. So, of course, always save. Save frequently. You'll probably hear me say that a lot. Hey, wait up, what's the hurry? Well, I'm in a hurry to beat this Pokemon Nuzlock, but for now, let's see what you've got. A level 9 Weedle. Alright, go, Steven, and then immediately come back so I can swap into Yon. This Weedle's only 2 levels lower than Yon, but being a fire type, Yon probably won't care. The Weedle uses String Shot, dropping my speed, but Yon is still faster, so he hits him with an Ember. It's super effective, but it doesn't seem to take it down, but that's okay. The Weedle uses another String Shot, and then because my speed is lower, it gets a poison sting in before I scratch it for the unnecessary critical hit to kill the Weedle. With 49 experience, Steven now grows to level 11. Yon is now level 12. Fantastic. And we defeated the bug catcher. Luckily, Yon didn't become poisoned, so we don't have to worry about that. Poison in early gen games like this one had damaging effects outside of battle, unlike the newer generations. So with that, that means that I would have to worry about my Pokemon fainting outside of battle. In case you're wondering why I didn't go into the tall grass to catch another Pokemon, that tall grass is actually technically a continuation of the tall grass before the forest. We're going to go ahead and heal up in the Pokemon Center because you should always heal frequently as well. I'm going to once again save because saving frequently is super important. So now that I've saved, we're going to go grind a little bit because if I'm not mistaken, the Pokemon in Brock's gym are level 14, I want to say, this early. So with that said, there is a high chance of us being underprepared if I don't grind a little bit. So we're up against a level 4 Pidgey. Of course, I'm going to swap train Steven. Jan is pretty good at taking out little birds, especially turning them into chicken with Ember as Jan takes a gust on the swap in. The Pidgey ends up living the Ember and crits with a gust as I go for Scratch and finish off the Pidgey. Fantastic. Let's see. How much experience do you need now? Stats. To get to level 12, 362. Alright, let's do this. So we're going to go ahead and keep on keeping on. In early game Pokemon, you could, hello Weedle, you could grind a lot, and EVs were a thing, but they worked really oddly. However, they are not super important. I mean, they're important. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not going to be super important in an early gen game like this because the opponents don't have EV training on theirs, and in fact, I believe all of the Pokemon have level up movesets, which means that they will more than likely have garbage movesets for whatever it is. There are rare exceptions, like I know Koga's team has almost all of their Pokemon have Toxic, which is super annoying, especially in a Nuzlocke. However, that doesn't particularly matter. Um, Gonna go ahead and kill this Rattata. Grinding is probably one of the most annoying things in a Nuzlocke, but it is a necessary evil if you don't want to lose your team. Granted, I'm not going to be leveling up my Pokemon too much higher than what the Pokemon in the gym are, so it's not like I have a ton of grinding to do, but I've got enough to where it could be quite irritating at times. I think the grind for Misty is going to be one of the more annoying ones, just because I'm not sure. Like, I'm gonna have to get a Pokemon that can actually take Misty on. Because, I mean, Yawn has. Oh. This Pidgey is level 5, therefore no Sand Attack. And that is no bueno. Oof, crit. No, Yawn. Nope, not. Nope, not doing that. We'll swap into Alex. Yes, Gust. That's fine. Because now I'm going to Gust you, and that should be the end of you. And I'm definitely going to go heal Jan. Because I do not want him fainting. He is going to be one of the best Pokemon on the team because he is a Fire type, and Fire types are always useful. There are some types that are less useful, but... And of course there are other types that are certainly more useful. Like, I know Dragon is a super good type to have in this. Also, one thing You will notice, I don't know if I went over it in the last session, but the walking around for encounters, I will not be using repels at all during this run, if only because that way I cannot manipulate artificially what I encounter, and I would not want to artificially encounter something that I shouldn't because of items. Some people would find that kind of odd, but in my case, it's just a matter of, like, I feel like using repels goes against the spirit of the game. Or, not the game, the challenge. Well, I guess technically the game, because the game, the object is to catch Pokemon, so there's that. But, I will say, it's, come on, there we go. I just feel using repels in an area you haven't encountered anything in yet is against the spirit of a Nuzlock, because you're supposed to catch the first thing you see, and if you're using repels because you don't want to encounter anything in an area you've only just stepped into, and the repel will allow you to manipulate stronger Pokemon or none at all, it I don't know, it just feels weird. Man, that Rattata actually did some work. It survived. I was thinking of going to heal, but we can keep going. Lots of Rattatas, lots of Pidgeys. I'm probably gonna have to change the name and description of the stream, if only because I completely forgot. So let's go ahead and pause and do that. Um, there we go. Change the thumbnail. There we go. Cool. Alright, so now let's get back into the game, which I might as well go ahead and save now, just in case. Save the game, and we're back. So, hopefully the title and description have been updated properly. I have... I will oops. I will probably have to edit the description again, but for now, it should be good enough. Go ahead and defeat this level 3 Pidgey. Grinding could get boring. I really wish there were people who could be in my voice chat and whatnot, but everybody seems to be busy when I want to record, which is a little sad. Except for the Curse of Strahd campaign, which I will be doing Mondays with a group that I met through a Twitch streamer friend of mine. Her name is Cuddle of Death on YouTube. Highly recommend checking her out both on YouTube and Twitch. Shout out to her. But her Discord led me to a group of people that I've been thoroughly enjoying running through D&D campaigns. The first one we did was Lost Mines of Phandelver, which it was fun. I was a little sad to see Cuddle and her boyfriend drop out, but I mean, hey, everybody's got things that they do and do not want to do. If you don't want to do it, I'm not going to make you. There's no reason to. And that's something that everybody should go into things with as a mindset. I have run D&D for God, I guess 14 years now. Um, it's been a long time, and I've seen people come and go. Um, most of them I miss. I say most. There's one person, exactly one. In the 14 years that I've run D&D, there's been exactly one person I have never been a fan of, and that's because he was a jerk. Um, he would blame everybody else for his problems. He would constantly berate people for not following his plan, would always attempt to be the center of attention. And it's. I mean, if you're gonna be like that, it's kinda toxic, bro. Like, I ain't gonna shame you for. Well, I'm gonna shame him for it because he was shameless, so it's not like he'd even care. And if he ever does see this, know that I still tell your story as a deterrent to any of my players so that they know what not to do as a player because you were super toxic. And you may be wondering what he did, and it's several things. I'm not going to name names, and I'm just going to say my local hobby shop, just because I don't want any bad things happening to the business. But there were a lot of things that ended up leading to what happened to him. Um, he was constantly negative, and we had gotten some new people. And during one session, the two new people, who I'll call the professors, because they were a married couple that were, well, professors. I'm not going to name names again for obvious reasons, but they were brand new to D&D. They wanted to get the full experience. They wanted to learn how to play the game, and I recommend D&D to everybody. Back then, we were doing Pathfinder, which has a whole story behind that, but Pathfinder was basically Dungeons and Dragons 3.75. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Then one session came along, and it was basically the session that broke the camel's back. I was co-DMing because one of the other players wanted to see about taking over for my forever DM status. And one session, I guess the planets aligned, and it was just an extra special let's be a jerk day for him. Um, there were a couple of things that happened rules wise that the dungeon master, and I guess by extension me, since I was helping him DM, um, had ruled on that he was super salty about, and then went into the book and almost literally threw the book at us, showing what the rule actually was. And it's not entirely our fault. If you've ever played D&D, you'll know that there's a literal book of rules that you look to for when you're trying to play the game. And for the most part, the rules were generally the same between D&D 3.5 and D&D and Pathfinder, or D&D 3.75, because it was essentially the same system. They did streamline a couple of things and changed a couple of things here and there, but overall the system was the same. So we, the at the time DM and myself, had assumed that a rule looked the same, so it basically was the same. And it wasn't, but the way he called it out was essentially calling us stupid, saying that he couldn't trust us as DMs because we didn't know a simple rule like that. And it's like, my dude, we have to keep track of an entire world, all the NPCs in it, and all the rules, and make sure that you guys are still having a good time and all of this. So berating us like that isn't cool. And try not to give your DMs a hard time if you do play Dungeons and Dragons, because I think Joe Cat put it best. Like, everybody's under a lot of stress to do things right, to make sure everybody's having a good time and whatnot. So it's not necessarily the dungeon master's fault if they get one rule wrong. And that wasn't the last thing that happened in the session. He also got mad because he couldn't use his cheat that he had basically strong armed the then dungeon master into giving him. And I wasn't going to overstep my bounds, because at that point I was trying to be a player and not a dungeon master, so I was letting the DM make the rules for it. But the thing about it is he was basically using he was basically strong arming the DM into giving him this super mega cheat power of a special snowflake flying fairy friend that was invisible and intangible, that only he could see and hear and interact with, and it would only listen to him and it would fight for him. And it's like, my dude, what, what are you giving up to get this super special Sentai power? And it was nothing. He wasn't giving anything up. It was dumb. And he was mad that we wouldn't let him use it the way he wanted to. And eventually he comes to a hallway. And the reason I brought the professors up like 10 minutes ago, because I'm rambling and this is disorganized and I'm just kind of going off the cuff here. And you know what? It's fine. So they come to a hallway, and at the end of the hallway, there is a door. This is spoilers for the Legend of the Silver Skeleton campaign, which is one of my favorite campaigns to this day. Highly recommend it. If you don't want spoilers, skip forward about 5 minutes ish. So, 3, 2, 1. All right. So, for those of who stuck around, the Legend of the Silver Skeleton, at one point you're chasing a lead and trying to convince kobolds to stop attacking a hostel. And that is not to say hostility, that is to say a building to take refuge in, kind of thing, like a hotel or an inn. And they lead you through this kobold lair, and eventually you have to make your way through a door at the end of a hallway. Well, as it turns out, the door happens to have a beholder on the front of it, the image of a beholder with gemstones for eyes. And it's a 15-foot hallway, and every 5-foot step you take activates one of the eyes of the beholder if you don't have the corresponding gemstone to that eye. Well, as it turns out, the professors didn't have, neither of the professors had the gemstone things. And so one of them walks into the hallway, and he gets caught in the trap and gets mind controlled to basically defend the door. Don't let anybody past. Well, the next. No, I'm sorry. It was another new player. I'm going to call him Mr. Jobs because he had, I think at the time, 6 jobs. He was the one who got mind controlled, and then one of the professors steps down the hallway to go down the hallway, and both Mr. Jobs and one of the professors, hey, Stephen grew to level 12, heck yeah, and learn Fury Attack, cool. I am definitely saving now. Awesome. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. So, um, the eye goes off, and they both fail the save, and it disintegrates them. Spoiler: one of the traps what is a disintegration ray, and it killed both of them instantaneously. They had absolutely no way of defending against it because they failed the save, and so they died. And instead of what everybody else was doing, which was, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. We'll get you a new character when we get another chance." Instead of being sympathetic and condoling, giving them their condolences and making sure they were okay and being like, "Hey, don't worry about it. This happens." They, the jerk, basically went, haha, God, you guys suck. You're terrible at this. Oh my God, I'm the best at this game. And it's like, man, he wasn't cool. He wasn't smart. He wasn't funny. He was just a jerk. And I have much more colorful language to use, but I'm trying to keep this PG as much as possible. I did say in the last video that I was going to attempt to uh, keep this as friendly as possible, but you know what? It's fine. So, uh, at that point, we were like, no, this behavior is unacceptable. And so we all got together and agreed that they needed to go. That, well, he needed to go. The professors were fine. Although the professors did end up leaving, we got our revenge on him for being such a jerk. Uh, After that session, I ended up talking to the rest of the group, and we spoke, and we were like, "Hey, so this is unacceptable." We talked to everybody but him, and we were like, "This behavior is unacceptable," and so they all agreed, and so we waited, and we decided to get a little petty revenge on him because he was such a jerk for so long. In fact, I ended up giving um, several people advice on how to deal with him. And what ended up happening is we waited until the next week. And the reason this is petty revenge is because this guy needed to take the bus because he was stupid enough to, instead of fixing the vehicle he had for $1,000, sold it for $100, which was really, 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 really dumb of him. And what ended up happening is because he had to take the bus, he has to spend money because the buses take money, obviously. And so we waited until the next session, so he had spent the money to come out to our local hobby shop. And after he had gotten there and set up, like, ooh, this is gonna be great, I'm gonna be the best person ever, and I'm gonna do all this stuff, we stopped the session before it even began and went, jerk, you're out. And he's like, what? And then he tried all these crocodile tear, like, sob stories. I know I'm not the best person, but. And it's like, no, no one here has sympathy for you anymore. We are sick of your garbage. Leave. and so he tried to get anybody on his side, and no one was having. We were sick of it. We had been putting up for it for years now, and we were sick of it. That was the straw. He chased out two people who were actually having fun and were new to the game. And like we'd been around him for a while, so we knew what he was like, but the thing is we didn't think he'd actually do that to new people. Oh, were we mistaken? So we kicked him out. And from what I heard from the manager at the time, uh, dude decided to go down and have a little pity party. Like, am I really a bad person? And the manager, being the uh, more than kind individual he is, basically went, "No, jerk, you're not a bad person." And then eventually he ended up bumming a ride off of one of the people because he stayed there for the entire time that we were there. He stayed in the hobby shop away from our group, who had our own private room at that point in time. Uh, Due to the consistency in our schedule and whatnot, it just happened to work out that way. So he ended up staying there and bumming a ride off of one of my best friends. Uh, haven't talked to him in a while now, but then back then he was a really good friend. I hope you're doing okay, dude. You know who you are. I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe stop by sometime. I don't know. Uh, Hopefully you're still doing good in school. So he ended up bumming a ride, and then the next week, I it felt like I was hosting a breakup session between two quarreling lovers, because they my my friend and the jerk had been friends for years before they had met me, and it was interesting to have. Ooh, I need to go heal. Um, it 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 felt like I was relationship counseling for these two, but I ended up walking them through how to break off the relationship and whatnot. So I don't know if they've spoken to each other since then. I don't think they have. Last I heard, they hadn't. Um, but it was just a very weird and awkward situation, and I'm glad it taught us a valuable lesson about being more aware of the signs of an abusive relationship and people who are abusive. Like, no one wants to go through that. And in case you're wondering, the jerk was a cheater as well. Uh, Not just in D&D, which why would you cheat in D&D? That's like cheating in a race that everybody wins. Like, your goal is to work with the other people to basically overcome this grand adventure. Like, what's the point in cheating? The only, like, are you that inadequate? Are you that anyway? Not the point. So he didn't just cheat in D&D. He also cheated in HeroClix, Magic the Gathering. Basically, any game he played, he cheated in. In HeroClix, he would pick up dice when it wasn't time to pick up dice. Like, he'd roll them, and before they finished rolling, he'd pick them up and go, "Oh, I crit," and stuff like that, which was really, really dumb and against the rules. He would, in Magic the Gathering, attempt to sneakily draw additional cards or sneak cards onto the field, and it's like, you don't think I notice you putting extra cards on the field or drawing extra cards? And the sad part is he was so bad at HeroClix and Magic the Gathering that even when he would cheat, he would still lose. Like, I would sit there and he would draw extra cards and play extra cards like I didn't notice, and I would still beat him. Oh, he was so bad. I am very glad I don't have to deal with him anymore. Um, Speaking of, if the manager of that local hobby shop is listening to this, dude, you were excellent at your job, and I was really glad to have you there. I haven't been to that local hobby shop in a while for obvious reasons, you know, the whole kung flu and all that. But it's it's fine. Um, I'll probably stop by there again at some point just to see how things are going. God, I used to go there. We used to go there every week, and since then the groups have changed and the people have changed. But oh no, Steven, don't miss attacks. That's a bad thing. Um, by the way, the reason I haven't been announcing the attacks is because this is just grinding. There's nothing super exciting going on. If you're listening to this as like audio only in the background, which again, whether you watch the video or just listen to it or whatever, I do very much appreciate you guys stopping by. um, every little view counts. I thoroughly appreciate everyone that stops by, even if just for a minute or two to see what's going on. uh, I like to keep a rather, I don't know, cheerful disposition when it comes to things, but I tend to get heated very easily and whatnot. So, I mean, everybody's got their quirks. I have been made very well aware of my character flaws, and I do try to actively stop myself from being a colossal jerk, but sometimes I get heated, and it just kind of happens. So, if I do slip up, that's my bad, and I'm trying to work on it. Oh my goodness. I have lots of D&D stories. I started playing D&D back when I first started college many moons ago. But I I was a player for a long time, and then eventually I ended up becoming a DM at local hobby shop, and at that point, I've had small breaks, but because I was the de facto DM for so long, even if I was taking a break to be a player, I was still kind of a co DM in the back, just kind of sitting there like, if you need help with this, I'm here, kind of thing. So I still feel like a forever DM. One of my friends ran a D&D session that went incredibly off the walls, mostly because two of the players were playing tiefling siblings that worshipped a Asmodeus, I think. I'm pretty sure. So they were constantly trying to uh, do bad things and whatnot. Meanwhile, I was over here playing a kobold. Kobolds are one of my favorite races in all of D&D. I love playing kobolds, goblins, and skeletons if I get the chance. It's very rare that someone would let me play a skeleton. Luckily, I mean, I did use the Dungeon Master's Guide to set up a, because the Dungeon Master's Guide has templates in the back, not like the back, but towards the back. And one of the templates happens to be skeletons, which is really cool. It gives you the abilities that it gets for being a skeleton, and it gives you the stat adjustments it gets for being a skeleton. So basically, what I did is I made a human variant that instead of getting the stats of a human variant, it got skelly stats, which was kind of cool. So that worked out, and um, I haven't been able to test it because once again I am a forever DM. But hey, if it happens, that'd be cool. It's been so long since I've played. Another campaign that we ended up doing was for Starfinder, which is like Pathfinder, but in space, which is a lot of fun. I highly recommend Pathfinder and Starfinder. I will say that both of them are like mountains of bookkeeping. But if you happen to do that, if you happen to not care about the bookkeeping, once you get playing, it's a lot of fun. That's actually one reason that I really like D&D 5e, because it took the bookkeeping and said, we'll cut it down to just the essentials, and any fluff and stuff is basically DM fiat at that point, which is really cool. I liked that. That was a very cool way of going about it. Recently, I tried to get some people to help me try out the Pokemon Tabletop United, which is really cool. Shoutouts to the loading crew for showing that game. He was running, his channel was running a Pokemon Tabletop United, or PTU, game for a while. Unfortunately, his channel started to slow down after he started doing what D&D alignment is, X, Y, or Z. I think Shrek was the first one he did, which was a funny one. Not my favorite, but a good video anyway. When he started posting Pokemon content, it started to his channel started to slow down on those videos because everybody wanted to see his what D&D alignment videos, and it's a shame because they were fun. They were fun videos. I didn't watch all of them, but the ones that I did watch were fun. And it looks like a really cool system. Unfortunately, and this is from me trying to get players to play it, unfortunately, that game has some like, if you think D&D 3.5, Pathfinder, Starfinder, if you think those have a lot of bookkeeping, PTU has so much more bookkeeping, and it's just absolutely insane when you think about, because you have to keep track of your character, because in PTU, even your character can go in and fight Pokemon yourselves, depending on the different skills and features that you choose. Um, and then there's like, oh god, what else is there? There's then you've also got to keep track of your Pokemon, your inventory, all sorts of stuff. It's absolutely nuts. And I haven't even, I haven't done a thorough investigation of it because, frankly, if I don't have someone with me to discuss and bounce things off of, it's just, I can't pull up the motivation. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely, I can't. I don't know. I just don't. Ooh, crit hit. Well done. And that's 14, which means that Steven is now the highest level. I will let him go before fighting the gym leader. So swap him out. Like that. Of course, save. Gotta save. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, like, I want to get people into it, and I want people to play PTU, but it's just got so much work. Like, at this point, I'm thinking of reading the rules, going over it, and basically making a D&D 5e to their D&D 3.5. Like, that's what I'm gonna have to do, because Jesus Christ, there's so much. And don't get me wrong, they put a lot of effort in. It looks good, and from what I could tell based on how the system is laid out, it flows smoothly once you've got the stuff going. It's just so front heavy on the stuff you need to get into the game. Oh, good lord. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on Pokemon Tabletop United. Really, really interesting concept in game. in or on paper, in practice, it needs work. Which, don't get me wrong, they said that it's being worked on. It's version, I think 1.0.5 is the one that I have. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I guess I'll try and work with what I've got and see what I can do on that end. Cause I mean, I want to play it. I want to see it played. I've got the beginnings of an adventure in my head at the very least. I'm putting things down every once in a while. Um, Another one that I really like, it's based off of Warhammer 40,000, is Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory. That one is really cool. I love 40k. I haven't played it in years. I have an incredibly massive Tyranid army, thanks to a buddy of mine. Shoutouts once again to one of my best friends from that Pathfinder campaign that Jerk was a part of, for selling me his army. Once again, one of my one of my best friends, really cool guy. Thanks to him, I have a rather egregious amount of Tyranids, which is great. And shoutouts to the manager of local hobby shop once again, because I was for a time paying him to paint my units, and I kind of, and this is my bad. He didn't end up painting them because I ended up forgetting to set money aside to pay him, and that was my bad. I'm glad he didn't work for free. Never work for free. If someone says that they're going to give you an opportunity for views or shout outs or any of that, no. Your time and your effort is worth more than that. So, just a little. Damn, Jan, you're. Well, I guess he was my Switch trainer for a while, so I'll swap him out. All right, who am I doing next? Jerry or Alex? Let's do Alex. I feel like Alex is gonna be the more difficult. Always save. Saving is important. Um, but yeah, your time and your money is worth more than just, oh, I have 150 Instagram followers. No, no, no. You get paid for your work. That is super important. And um, I mean, to be fair, if you enjoy what you do, it won't feel like work. But that doesn't mean it isn't work. You're still putting in time, and time is money. So always keep that in mind. I If you volunteer for something and you don't get paid for it and you knew you weren't going to, that's one thing, but like don't let people beg your efforts off of you. They are not real friends if they won't acknowledge the time and effort you put in to get the thing they want done. Done. So, there's that. Um, but I still plan on paying him to paint them at some point. But I want to get more stable income. I need there are things I need and there are things I want. That is a want. I need to work on the needs right now, which, thanks to my current job that I have, which I'm not going to talk about where it is, uh, due to, you know, I don't want people going to play, like, I'm not going to advertise for free essentially, but at the same time, like, I don't mind advertising where I work, but at the same time I feel like it's the safer option to not advertise where I work, cuz there are a lot of crazy people in the world, especially nowadays. Holy crap. But anyway, thanks to the side job that I have, I'm gonna call it a side job because I want this to be my actual job, but this takes a lot of time and effort to build up the people required in order for it to become a job. So for now, this is technically my side job, and the other one is my actual job. But thanks to that, I'm able to at least support myself for the most part. Um, Helps me get what I need: food. I can pay the internet bill, which allows me to do this in the first place. Pay my car insurance, pay bills, stuff like that. So important. Always have a backup plan, because what you want and what you get are not the same. I mean, they can be, but not always. Anyway, point is, always have a backup. So the grinding session's going pretty good so far. For those of who are just listening on audio, so far I've gotten Steven the Beedrill and Yon the Charmander both to level 14. Alex is currently level 11 now. Um, I've had to go back and heal once or twice for Alex. Um, just because while Alex is apparently pretty fast and can hit pretty hard, still made of tissue paper, paper mache bird. But yeah, we're this is good. I really wish the audio for the game would work, but I tried for maybe 30 minutes to an hour to get it to work before I started streaming today, and it won't. So if I'm not talking, it's basically dead silence, and I don't know about you guys, but that makes me feel super awkward. Um, some I I feel like I want to have a webcam, but I also don't want to show my face at the same time. Like, it's really like I want to have something on the screen to represent me, but I don't want it to be like a webcam. Maybe one of those what are they called? I think it's I know a group. I think it's like Hololive or something like that. They use these models to represent themselves, um, which they are hilarious and adorable, and I love watching them. But I just maybe something like that would be cool. I just don't want my face out there where everybody can see it. But I mean, that's just my paranoia talking. I'm sure it's not as bad as I imagine it to be. Or maybe it is. Who knows? I certainly don't. I just try and oh, well, there goes Rattata. I just try and keep myself and my family safe, and that's one of the measures I can think of, is to keep myself from being out there as much as possible. To limit that kind of stuff. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have well. I think I have a Snapchat, but I don't. I haven't used it in 6 or 7 years, so it's probably dead by now. Um, I just, I mean, I've got this YouTube, but the only identifying feature is my cat. That, which, if you didn't know, my profile picture. Ooh, Alex learned Quick Attack, fantastic. Um, the only identifying feature is my cat, which, if you didn't know, the symbol for my channel, the little picture I have, that is a picture of my kitty cat. Her name was Tinker the Second specifically. She was a Russian blue with 4 white paws and a white chest. She only liked me and my dad. She would not eat and drink in the same place, and she would only drink out of a dripping sink. The first Tinker was a Russian blue with 4 white paws and a white chest that only liked me and my dad, would not eat and drink in the same place, and would only drink out of a dripping sink. So that's one of the reasons we called her Tinker the Second, is because she was so similar to Tinker the First. And I spoiled her rotten. I really did. She was my baby. I had had her since I was 8 years old. She passed away December 31st, 2019, which made me super sad. But she had we we put her to sleep because she had a cancerous growth that had overtaken her lower jaw, and it it prevented her from eating. She she was too old. They couldn't perform the operation on her to remove it. Even when we didn't catch it very early at all. So by the time we had caught it was too late. So we ended up uh, we let her go for as long as she could. But December 31st, 2019, it was obvious there was no way. She was just in constant pain at that point because every time she tried to eat, it would bust open and bleed. She would constantly pick at it, and eventually, even even liquid food was too much for her. She wasn't able to, so it was time, and it was really hard. Like, I mean, even now I think about it and still get sad, but back then it was something else entirely because I remember a comment that I don't remember if it was my dad, my mom, or my friend who went with me when I went to do it. Um, they had said that out of everybody in the room, I was the one who wasn't crying. But what they failed to realize is I had been dealing with it for months at that point. So I didn't really have anything left to cry about. So that's how that went. In any event, I need. I back to Pokemon. Pokemon is fun. I use Pokemon as a distraction for my daily life, which I mean, I'm a guy. People are like, "Oh, he's a sappy uh, jerk," and it's like, well, I mean, it's you shouldn't be afraid to speak your mind and your feelings as long as it doesn't cause harm to anyone, because your rights extend as far as until it impacts the rights of another person. That's essentially what it is. So if you're sad, if you're feeling down, if you're upset, don't be afraid to let someone know, because that is the number one way to help people. It's not just about being reached out to, but also about just reaching out. Because sometimes the person who reaches out, the people who don't reach out may not ever get the chance to. And it might be because they're scared, it might be because they're afraid that the backlash for reaching out will exceed the amount of help that they would receive for reaching out. But it's I feel like if everybody were to respond kindly, or at least not negatively, to the people who need help, the world would be an infinitely better place. And with that said, if you guys ever need help, message me. I'd be more than happy to, at the very least, lend you an ear. Because while I'm not an expert in just about any field, if I'm being completely honest, I I would always be an ear to listen to. So at the very least, you know you could tell someone, and I don't tell. I tend to try and keep everyone's personal information and whatnot secret. So it's if you I mean, it's fine if you don't feel like talking about it, but just know that there are people out there who would willingly help you, and I would be perfectly fine just being an ear to listen or a shoulder to lean on. So, there's that. Let's go ahead and go heal Alex. I know swapping from a super serious subject to gaming, but hey, I'm trying to entertain here, so we'll see how that goes. Now I'm on a serious bender and I'm not super happy about it, but I also can't be bothered to get off it. So, I mean, if you guys have anything interesting to discuss on any of the subjects we've touched on so far, feel free to leave a comment. If you're in the live chat, go ahead and chat. I mean, shoot, I don't know how this works. I'm just trying to be a part of a community, or several at this point, because there's the Pokemon, the Nuzlock, the D&D communities. I don't know. Let's talk about another tabletop game. There's apparently released, I think sometime towards the end of last year, beginning of this one, Alien tabletop RPG, and that is to say, Alien as in the movie Alien, which is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's a horror movie, and it's great. The atmosphere is great. You end up getting to know the characters on a very, very personal level so that you can connect with them. Like, it's all about. It's something that movies nowadays are not good at, and it makes me sad because we're getting a lot of these vapid, shallow movies that have great visual effects but absolutely no heart or soul behind them. Um, as an example, I thoroughly enjoyed Monster Hunter, the movie, but the movie itself was like it was a visual spectacle and that was it. There was nothing behind the visuals to suck me in. It was a really cool movie, but the characters were basically one dimensional. The monsters were basically one dimensional. The setting could have been anywhere, it wouldn't have mattered. Um, the main character might have been relatable to a soldier, but as a rando, I can't relate to someone who's super cool and uh, liked by everyone. And hey, Alex just grew to level 14, so let's go ahead and save. And is really good. Like I'm martially trained, but I don't have like I'm not Superman. Unlike this lady, apparently, who's good at fighting giant monsters, even though she's never seen them before. And it's like, I mean, come on, guys. You couldn't have made a more believable main character, like, at all. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the movie. I do. I really do. I like the game, too. But I appear to be rambling again. My point is I wish they would put more effort into movies like they did back then. And Alien, the movie, was really, really good, and I'm glad to see that they made a game about it. And the really cool thing about the game is the game looks and feels like the movie. It's cool like that. But, I mean, stuff happens. So, I haven't had a chance to try it out. I do want to try it out with my normal D&D group and see what they think about it. And hey, maybe it'll become a staple fixture in our D&D nights. Who knows? We'll see. Um, I'd actually really like to try it at some time. Uh, with frankly, I'd like to be a player in that, but I highly doubt I'll get the chance because, as I said during my rant a little while ago, granted this whole thing is a rant, is I I'm a forever DM at this point. I can't really can't I can't get away. Every time I think I'm out, it keeps dragging me back in. Speaking of dragging, I've been like super upset with myself because I haven't had the chance. Like my schedule, I have a brother. He's 9 months younger than me. Yes, yes, jokes. Already, we've hundreds have been made already. We the whole family's in on it. Um, so my brother got married. His beautiful wife, lovely lady. Her family is great too. I heard recently her brother got hospitalized, so um, oh, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully, if I'm still streaming, I'll see you when you get back. Um, so, hopefully, her brother is doing good. I haven't heard anything else about it, but I hope she and my brother are doing good right now because they had a baby. I'm an uncle, and it's kind of a weird feeling. I was calling him Squeaky for a while. I don't know if he's still Squeaky, but if he is, I will continue to call him Squeaky. Um, but I'm really upset with myself because my schedule doesn't match up with their schedule, like, at all. So I haven't had a chance to go down and see my brother and his wife and my little nephew because he lives, I think it's like an hour and a half away from me. So that's a 3 hour trip just to go there and come back. So it's really inconvenient for me, my mom, and or my dad to go because my mom, my dad, and I all live in like the same area, but my brother and his wife live out in the middle of nowhere. And don't get me wrong, his home is beautiful. He's got four big doggos, and when I say big doggos, I don't mean like they are large dogs. I mean they are fat. Well, three of the four of them are fat. One of them's just a fuzzy little troublemaker. All of them are fuzzy little troublemakers, but there's a skinny one and then three fat ones. And it's really funny because they are all over that baby, or at least they were when I was over there. At one point, my mom and I went up to see Squeaky, and uh, my brother and his wife went out to grab supplies with my brother's wife's mother, and uh, that left my mom and I to take care of the Squeaky. And the dogs were all over him, and he started crying because he was hungry and all of this. So I was helping. I helped my mom a little bit by making a baby bottle. It was super easy. So I mean, I don't feel like I did any work, but hey, my mom said I helped out a lot. So I'll take her word for it. She's had two little monsters to raise, me being one of them. So she obviously knows it better than I do. Oh my goodness. We're almost there. Jerry is currently level 11, so once Jerry hits level 14, we're going to go take on Brock and see how that goes. It's probably not going to go well, but I mean, hey, we'll see how it goes, right? Ugh, my nose. Alrighty then. So I forget how old. I think he's 2 months. He's actually, I think it's closer to 3 months now. Um, he was born 2 weeks early, which, from what I heard, is not the best thing. But um, it doesn't appear as though he's got any medical problems, at least from what I've heard. Um, he was really, really tiny and he was cute, and I just want to pinch his little cheeks, but I'm afraid that if I do that, I might accidentally bruise him because I'm a very big guy and pretty strong, and he's just a whale baby. And my mom and my dad FaceTime him frequently. I do not have any Apple products, so because I'm a Microsoft guy over here, but um, he they've got pictures and screen caps and whatnot from their FaceTimes and pictures from my brother and his wife. And anyway, it's really nice. From what I heard, they might be coming up this weekend, which would be really cool because I get off work on Saturday at 3 o'clock because I have other places to be. But if I'm available, oh no, Jerry, no. Hopefully, I will be free long enough to see my little nephew. And they better not leave him with me, because if they do, I'm going to spoil him rotten. I'm going to hop him up on sugar, give him lots of unhealthy drinks, and just, let him go to town on those candy bars. And that's going to be great, because when I give him back, he's going to be hyper as heck. And I'm leaving names out intentionally because, again, I want as little identifying features as possible to be out there. It, it's for the safety of my family and whatnot because these are crazy times. And oh, good lordy. Anyway, after this, I'm gonna see about going. Hopefully, we'll be able to finish up this grinding soon. Uh, I actually don't like using the turbo mode on this thing, just because it feels weird to go back to normal mode. Also, it speeds everything up, so I mean, what was the point of me putting on animations if I'm just gonna speed through it? Like, there's that. Also, it makes walking really awkward because it makes it difficult to see, or it makes precise movements difficult. So, don't want that either. I wish I had some more appropriate things to fight, but the Pokemon in the area are really weak, so I would go a little bit ahead for that, but unfortunately, I can't because there's someone blocking the way. For those of who haven't played Pokemon Red, the original version, um, that is to say, not Fire Red, but Pokemon Red, so because those are two different games. But anyway, um, there are some roadblocks. Like you'll notice this little tree right here. That requires a Pokemon who's able to use the HM Hidden Move Cut. Um, or maybe it was Hidden Machine. I forget. Either way, point is, there are roadblocks everywhere, and some of them take the form of NPCs that will prevent me from progressing. And just to show you, because I was gonna go back and heal anyway, I'll just show you the person. They're over here, and it's this guy. So if I try and go past him, You're a trainer, right? Brock's looking for new challengers. Follow me. And then he doesn't give me the option. He literally just drags me over there. I can't move while this is going on. There's supposed to be this upbeat music like do 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 do. And then he takes me over to Brock's gym and then he walks off screen in a direction that prevents you from actually going that way, but disappears anyway. He didn't go in the gym because the gym is right here and he would have walked up, but he didn't. So he can teleport apparently because if we go back over here, um, you will see he happens to be back in that same spot to prevent me from progressing further yet again. It's really annoying when games do this because all I want to do is explore and catch new Pokemon and whatnot. But because there are different types of Pokemon further ahead that could give you an advantage against Brock, there's a there's a roadblock there that only allows you to catch the Pokemon beforehand. Which, don't get me wrong, there are Pokemon that are good against. Oh, I forgot to go heal. Alright, well, whatever. There are Pokemon that are good against Brock. I just happen to not catch them because it's a Nuzlocke. Like, if I had gotten either of the Nidorans, the Nidoran, male or female, gets double kick at some point, and double kick's a fighting move, and fighting moves are strong against rock moves, which Brock is the rock gem. So, yeah. Also, Jerry just hit 12, so let's go ahead and save. Always a good thing. Gotta save frequently. Always save. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about. I've talked about like everything, man. I've got I don't know. I'm up to 6 subscribers. That's cool. That's 3 times as many subs as I had when I started streaming. So hey, I'm okay with that. If I could do that again, that'd be amazing. Just 3 times as many subs every time I stream. That would be hilarious. I could go into the Viridian Forest and fight because they have Kakuna, which give lots of experience. But that's a longer walk to the center. Eh, whatever. It's fine. There's also a lot more poison in here, so there's the potential for really bad things to happen. Luckily, unlike the new gens, Generation 1 had no abilities. In fact, abilities didn't become a thing until I believe Generation 3. Um, so someone pointed this out, and I thought it was actually kind of funny. Um, Pokemon introduces a mechanic, but the mechanic doesn't become fully fleshed out until like the generation after it was introduced. So, as an example, Generation 2 introduced held items. Oh, lordy. Held items. But when Generation 3 came out, the held items were significantly improved upon. Aha, here's the Kakuna. Kakunas are super useful for experience. So, and then Generation 3 introduced abilities, but it wasn't until like Generation 4 or 5 that abilities became like super useful and very strong. Like, don't get me wrong, there were some abilities that were super useful and strong. Like Intimidate has always been a good ability. Um, Moxie's a really good ability. Um, but like uh, let's go back and heal. But like they didn't get improved until Generation 4 or 5 because I forget which generation which generation did it, but Generation 3 introduced I think Generation 3 introduced Sturdy as an ability. But what Sturdy did then is not what Sturdy does now. I mean, it does, but it does more now than it did then. Because when it was first introduced, it was an ability that literally said, no one hit KO moves hurt me. So, like, if I tried to use Fissure on a Graveler, I think Graveler has Sturdy. Golem might too. It would say it wouldn't work. But then, ooh, Metapod, nice. But then along comes Generation 4 or 5. I forget which generation changed it. Sturdy doesn't do that anymore. I mean, it does do that, but that's not the only thing it does anymore. Now, Sturdy also prevents moves from taking you from full health to zero. It'll leave you with exactly one health, which actually makes catching sturdy Pokemon super useful because you just use one really powerful, super effective move, and suddenly they're at exactly one health, which is a guarantee, and that means that you can catch them more easily. Although I don't think the catch rate goes up very much between um, um, I think it's like 15 or 20% and literally one health. But it's a thing. So, uh, and I think I, I remember hearing somewhere that certain status conditions don't matter. It's probably burn and poison that don't matter for catching, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been so long. And then, speaking of catching, one of my friends was talking about how in the Pokemon Tabletop United (PTU), if he were to ever attempt to catch Pokemon, he would go ahead and throw the ball, and then as soon as it gets in there, run over to the ball and hold it shut, which I thought was absolutely hysterical. Because I mean that's a good question. Other than game mechanics, why don't the trainers who are trying to catch Pokemon run over there and hold the ball shut? Or in the case of, like let's say they have I don't know, Machamp, right? Like why don't they just have a Machamp on the side, and when you throw the ball, have Machamp run over there and hold it, or shoot, I don't know, like any other Pokemon that can do that. You know what I mean? Like that. Like his idea was silly until you start thinking of the ramifications of the ability to actually do that. And it gets even dumber when you think about like the apricot balls, which were more mechanical than electronic. So it's like, also, that's another thing, is why are the apricot balls limited to a single region? Like I know it's basically one dude in his house that makes them, but like he had an apprentice. I think it was his grandkid, but that's still an apprentice. Like why don't they set up a shop? You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, those balls are amazing. And that, no, YouTube, that's not what that means, and you should feel ashamed of yourselves. But it's like, in PTU, there's apparently a specific line you could go down that would make it to where you're. Oh, I just realized Jerry's 13. I need to wind down my grinding soon. Um, in it, there are skills that you can grab or features that you can grab that let you make Pokeballs for dirt cheap. And there are two ways of going about it. There's the technology education feature or skill, something or other. The terminology in the book needs work. Um, that lets you basically make Pokeballs using tech, or, and this is the cooler one, you could do the apricorn or apricot balls. I forget exactly what they're called. I forget which one they're called. And that one, ooh, level 6, allows you to make apricot balls with survival, which is slightly more useful, if only because you're going to use survival out on the road more than you're going to use tech ed. You know what I mean? So that's a cool little thing about it. And there are actually upgrades to both of those skills. I think one of them's called ball repair, which requires either of those, either the Pokeball mechanic or the apricot ball mechanic, with the skill uh, for making them, and then or the skill for using them, survival or tech ed, um, at certain levels, which would make you even better at doing it and allow you to fix them if they become broken due to failure to catch a Pokemon. So I don't know. It's just really cool. Like, it has a lot of options, but Jesus Christ, is it a lot of bookwork? And I wanna. I really, God, there's a lot of Kakuna in here. Holy crap. Um, I really want to go in and make it to where that like I streamline it a bit. How much experience do you need? Let me just look. Stats and 212. All right, so that's like, also I'm going to save here cuz saving is important. That's like, what is that? Like 5 more Kakuna, give or take. But yeah, I would love to run a Pokemon campaign. And what's really cool is there's a YouTuber, what was it, Lock and Noggin or something like that. I forget the exact name of the person, but they run a really cool YouTube channel, and he's been making what's called Lockemon, which is basically his own personal Pokemon region with stuff. And it'd be really cool if I could just make that and run a campaign in his world as well. Like, that'd be cool. Or do what the do like what they implied the show does, but in reality, like, Ash's Pikachu should be level 500 and just mop the floor with everything. But anyway, um, run them through every region, and I don't know, maybe Team Rocket, maybe Team Rocket again, perhaps a little Aqua Magma, get a little Team Galactic going on. You know, I don't know. It'd be cool. I think. I mean, by the time they get to the end, their Pokemon would be like Swole Doge versus like a Caterpie. But you know, whatever, it's fine. Craziness, I tell you, craziness. Oh my goodness. I've completely forgotten how much experience is required to get to the next level. I think it'll be like 80 something? 40 something. Okay, never mind. I was horribly mistaken. Oh, lordy. A level 4 Pidgey, oh boy. 10 more experience. Oh, it's another Pidgey, also level 4, which means that'll be 31 experience, which means he'll have 21 experience going to the next level. I think. Pretty sure. I was correct. Ooh, Hyperfang. Hyperfang, good. And of course, save. Boom. I always forget if it's Super Fang or Hyper Fang that does exactly half of the Pokemon's health. But we'll see. Actually, we won't see. I'm not going to be using him. I'm probably, if everything goes according to plan, I'm going to be using Charmander Yawn the whole time because Yawn is a beast. But we're going to find out, so let's do this. Alright, so I'm saved up. Not that it particularly matters. That's just in case something funky happens with the recording and whatever. Um, Here we go. Let's talk to this guy. Stop right there, kid. You're still light years from facing Brock. Actually, it's closer to, what is that, like, to 10, 12 meters? I don't know. By the way, it was stated somewhere, I forget exactly. Um, I heard that it was. Oh no, not Scratch. I heard that it was stated that each square in each tile in the Pokemon games is supposed to be a meter, 1 meter by 1 meter. Um, I don't know. That sounds like a thing that could happen. Oh lordy. Oh, oh, sand attack failed. Come on, finish him with Ember. All right. I didn't announce the moves from this one just because this isn't the gym leader. But once I go over to the gym leader, I'm gonna do what I was doing in the beginning, and that is announcing all of the moves. Actually, I'm gonna go heal, and then do I need to? You're missing 10 health. I'm gonna go heal. Because 10 health doesn't sound like a lot, but that's greater than 1/4 of Yon's health, because Yon only has 37 health. So I'd rather be full up. And once again, I'm on set mode, and once again, this is also no items in battle. So I'm not going to be able to heal Yon during the fight. I could have healed him before the fight, but I'm saving my potions and whatnot because I think I have potions, don't I? Yeah, I'm saving my potions and all of that for like if I'm in a cave or something I can heal up kind of thing, as opposed to here where there's like no grass, no encounters, etc., etc. Um, so there we go. All right, let's save. Now saving, save the game. I'm Brock. I'm Pewter's gym leader. I believe in rock hard defense and determination. That's why my Pokemon are all rock type. Do you still want to challenge me? Fine then. Show me your best. Alrighty. Brock wants to fight. Well, I want to fight. Brock is just kind of going along with it. Brock sends out Geodude, and I'm sending out Yon the Charmander. Um, So, from what I remember correctly, his Pokemon, a level 12 Geodude, is taking an Ember. It's not very effective. But the thing is it uses Defense Curl, and then I use another Ember as it uses Tackle. Their defense is good, but their special defense isn't super great. As I use another Ember and it uses another Defense Curl, I go for another Ember and it'll go for another oh, it got burned. So he wasted his turn using a burn heal. That is fantastic. Um, so, so I use another Ember. It uses another Defense Curl. His Pokemon special defense is poor. I feint it with another Ember. Um, which means that while he can raise the defense of his Pokemon, Yon learned Leer, which is great. Onyx. Um, Ember. And the reason is because uh, he has a way of raising defense, but he doesn't have a way of raising his um, special defense. Oh, he used Bide. So this is where I'm going to start growling him. Um, and I use another growl as he stores up energy. The reason unleashed energy, his attack missed, which is the way the game says I use Ember. Um, his Bide didn't do anything because Bide is retarded if you can't. And he used Bide again, so I'm just gonna growl him a couple of times. Um, he unleashed energy, and then I use Ember again. Um, because if you can't encore your opponent into an attacking move, there's no way for him. He's using Bide again, so I'm using Growl. You know what? I'll give him a Leer this time because apparently I've lowered his attack as low as it'll go. And then Ember, and I think that might finish him off, and it does. Because Yon is a beast, and Yon just grew 2 levels in this. He's now level 16. So the Bide is very bad unless you can lock your opponent into an attacking move that you know you can survive. Um, so, oh man, Yon's evolving. I didn't see that coming. Um, so, because he just uses Bide, and my Charmander was significantly faster than his Onix, because frankly, Onix's defense is pretty good, but otherwise he's pretty garbage. So, all I did was use status moves while he was charging energy with Bide, and then after he unleashed energy, I would go back to hitting him with actual attacks. Luckily, he wasn't smart enough to use Tackle, which probably would have ended me in 3 or 4 hits. So I now have the Boulder Badge. Do 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 do. Wrong game, but close enough. Alrighty then. So I'm going to go ahead and heal up, because you should heal frequently, and then after I'm done healing, I'm going to save up, because saving is important. Save. Game is saved. Alright, and then I'm going to go over here, and we're going to move on to the next route, which... Can I buy Pokeballs from you? I can. I have 1, so let's go ahead and buy 9. And then I'm going to buy another potion. Is there anything for me to sell? Yes. I'm going to sell Bide because Bide is useless. And then I'm going to purchase 1 escape rope. Of course, save, because saving is important. I am not going to catch a Pokemon on this upcoming route if I can help it, which I don't think there's any mandatory grass. I am, however, going to fight all of the trainers on this route because I need my other Pokemon to catch up to Yon, and also because this is going to be basically a very good grinding session for everybody else, so I can start getting ready for rival number 3, technically, and also for Misty, because Misty is, from what I remember, known as a run killer for some reason. I don't remember if that's true, but it'd be really bad if it was, and I don't want to be underprepared for that. So, boom, Steven kills a Pidgey, there's another Pidgey, Steven attacks that one with Fury Attack. I don't like Fury Attack because it's a multi-hit move, therefore its damage is wildly inconsistent. However, it's the only move Steven has to attack with, so we're using what we got. Luckily, the Pidgeys only hit him with sand attacks, which lowered the accuracy, making his attacks very inaccurate, but it didn't matter because he hit all of his Fury attacks, which has less than 100% accuracy anyway, so hey, look at that. It's a thing. So, yeah. Now we're fighting a bug trainer. He's got a Caterpie. I've got a Steven. Um, Steven missed his Fury attack, and Caterpie hit String Shot, but Steven is still faster. This Caterpie is level 10, and I need Fury attack to hit several times. Ooh, crit hit. Nice. Alright. That went from another 3 hits of Fury Swipes to guaranteed 2. Which Fury Swipes always hits 2 times. 3, 4, and 5 are significantly rare. So there's that. Bug Catcher sends out a Weedle. Steven, once again, using his well-practiced Fury attacks, gets hit by the Weedle with a Poison Sting, although because Steven is a Poison type, it's not very effective. So while he did take damage, it wasn't a lot. The last Pokemon is another level 10 Caterpie, but because it's level 10, it's garbage, and Steven, being 4 levels higher, is clearly superior. So we're just going to go ahead and use Fury Attack a couple of times and take this little thing out, and boom. Nice. Bug Catcher, done, and dusted. Up next, we have, I think, another youngster. Oh, hey, it's the I Like Shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear kid. Forgot about this. I forgot about this kid. What do we got? Rattata. I don't know. This thing's only level 11. I don't think it's in the top percentage of Rattata, so we're good. It used Quick Attack, dealt an okay amount of damage, but Steven uses Fury Attack and does significantly more. If this comes down to it, Steven missed Fury Attacks. Steven missed Fury Attacks again. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna give you one more chance. You've got it. You gotta hit. If you don't kill him, I have to swap you out. And you didn't. Alright, cool. Swapping out. I'll show you my Rattata since you showed me yours. Rattata used Tackle. Jesus. Jerry, go ahead and use Quick Attack, please. Finish him off. Thank you. Alright, cool. So Jerry's down. Up next, we have an Ekans. Ekans is super scary. Luckily, Hyperfang is just a boss. And, oh no, Jerry is poisoned. But, good news, in Generation 1, if you KO the opposing Pokemon, you don't take status damage. So I have to get to the Pokemon Center very quickly. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And if we look at Jerry's health, he is indeed at 4 health. That was close. I definitely would have used an item on him if he was about to faint, but I didn't want to use it immediately in case I could have saved it, which I did. So now I have that potion for later, or that antidote for later as well, because I did have an antidote and could have skipped all of that, but that's money on the table that I didn't want to get rid of. So, alright. Are you a trainer? Let's fight! Alright, Bug Catcher. Oh god, he's got a lot of Pokemon. Weedle. Alright. Steven, go. Fury Attack. Pew pew. That's 2. Oh, there's 3. Do we see it? Nope, it's just 3. Damn. Weedle counters with a String Shot, but that's okay, because I've got Fury Attack and kill him immediately. Steven is level 15. This should be quick. Oh, okay. Missed the first. Kakuna used Harden, so now it takes less damage. It used Harden again, so Fury attacks again. I'm doing less damage every time this happens. If I get a critical hit, uh, another harden, so his defense goes up. Critical hits ignore stat changes. Another harden. God, this Kakuna is a pain in the butt. But there we go. We got him. We got him, boys. And then we got Caterpie up next. That's a level 9. And Fury Attack. That's 3. If I get a fourth one, nope. Alright, so kind of a waste, but there's another Fury Attack. That Caterpie is down. Last up, we have a Metapod. I missed the first one just like I did with the Kakuna. How do you miss a sitting target? And of course, I'm only hitting 2 times. So you can always basically guarantee that an opponent with Fury Attack will get like 5, but the moment you attempt to get 5, you're gonna get 2. Oh lordy! All right. Ba-ding, do 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 do. And it's a lass. Hello, lass. Sends out a Rattata. Go, Steven. Steven uses Fury attacks on the Rattata. That's 1, 2, 2 times. And so we use another Fury attack after it uses Tackle, and it's dead. Now we have a Nidoran male. I'm going to use Fury attacks again. 2, 3, 4. 4 Fury attacks. And there goes the Nidoran male. We defeated the last. Hooray. And Steven still hasn't grown to level 16. Okay, let's see what this guy's got to offer. Hey, you're not wearing shorts. No, I'm not, because it's winter. I mean, I personally am wearing shorts because shorts are comfy and easy to wear. But, no. In-game, I'm in a trainer outfit, so no. Oh, that's a Spearow. Oh, no. I'm gonna swap to Jerry. Hopefully this Spearows terrify me. Oh, God, it used Leer. Oh, God, don't. No. Oh, no. You know what? I'm going into Yawn. I am not going to have this Spearow take out all of my team members. Spearows terrify me. They crit often and hard. Steven's level 16, woo. Steven learned an incredibly useless attack, woo. Oh god, I hate Spearows. I really do. Spearows terrify me, and not because of the anime. In the anime, they were portrayed about as powerful as they are in game because they are super fast and they crit really, 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 really hard. So they terrify me. I have lost several Pokemon to Spearow. I've actually lost several Pokemon. The most I've ever lost in a Nuzlocke was 3 Pokemon in, I want to say it was Platinum when I Nuzlocked that. It's not on the channel because I didn't record it because that was back when I was a wee lad and didn't record anything ever. But I ended up losing several Pokemon to, and I kid you not, all of them critical high jump kicks. 3 Pokemon, each one died to a critical high jump kick. It really made me upset. Actually, you know what? I think it was X and Y. It was probably X and Y. I wasn't a wee lad for that one, but anyway. By the way, if you ever play a Gen 1 game and you get Focus Energy, you should be the most disappointed person on Earth because Focus Energy actually does the opposite of what it's described to do. Because the crit mechanics in Generation 1 are broken. So your critical strike chances are based off of your speed. So a very, very fast Pokemon might end up critting one in every 5 moves. If you use focus energy, it's supposed to multiply your critical strike chance by 4. But in Generation 1, due to a bug, it actually lowers your chance to critical strike by 4 times. So your crit chance would go from 1 in 5 to 1 in 20 instead of 1 in 5 to 1 in, what would that be? Almost 1 in 1? Because it would be 4 times greater. So maybe 1 in 1/4, something like that. It was stupid low. Oh, I need to swap Steven out. He's level 16. Oh, are you just gonna kill the... No? Okay. What'd you disable? Fury attack. Alright, well, you're useless anyway. Alright. Jerry, get in there. Oh god, I got pounded by a Jigglypuff. Quickly, defeat it. With quick attack. Oh, it didn't die. That's... Oh, Jesus. Kill it. Kill it now. Kill it dead. Okay. That was a critical hit. That hurt. Let's go ahead and save. I'm like 99% sure there are no more trainers to fight on this route. And the... do I have enough? I do. The reason I'm not catching anything on this route is because I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to the Pokemon Center. And the Pokemon Center is on this route. And as it turns out, there's a dude in here. This guy right here, Shady Salesman. And he's going to sell me a Magikarp for only 500 Pokédollars. And I'm going to name you... Kudos to anybody who gets this reference. So you are Mr. Fish. Okay. I have to switch train him until level 15. But Magikarp is super worth it. Because when it evolves, it gets so good. Gyarados is so strong. The biggest downside is there are no physical water moves in this because the physical special split didn't occur until 4th or 5th generation, one of the two. So I can't catch anything on this route. But you know what? Since I'm here, and since I have Pokeballs, I'm going to go to the cave and catch something. Because it's probably going to be weak anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and catch it. I'm hoping it's a Geodude. Because in Generation 1, you can't get Crobat. And Crobat is amazing. But Zubat is garbage. So that's a thing. Oh, please be a Geodude. Shit. Alright. Well, hello, Zubat. Pokemon. We'll go with Jeremy. Oh, yeah, and Leech Life is garbage. So, that's a thing. Tackle, because Tackle is the weakest move he has. And he killed it. Alright, cool. So, I don't get that. TM12. Wasn't that Water Gun? I could be mistaken, but I think that was Water Gun. Oh, hey, look, another Zubat. I mean, I might as well, right? No use in not getting these. Quick attack. Kill it. Yeah, this one's got better defense than the last one, which is kind of sad because it's still weak. Yeah, and so Golbat's not very good, Zubat's not very good, but Crobat is amazing, which is why Gen 2 is great. You know what? Let's check that item. What item is that? It is Water Gun. Haha, I was right. Jerry can learn that. Sure. We will get rid of Tail Whip because Tail Whip is not useful. Gonna save. Yes. Um. Let's see. How long has this stream been running? Was it 4th gen? Thanks. Um. Let's see. I've been running for just over 2 hours, so I think at this point I'm gonna save and take a little bit of a break. Um, Probably gonna hop back on in a little while because I am hungry. I appreciate everybody who stopped by, and when I start streaming again, I guess I will let you guys know. Um, Thank you, and have a good day.